district size goes with the number of laws you created. And I touched on it earlier, but I'll reemphasize. When you increase the number of reps, the reps are not only able to take petitions from you, but they're able to re-examine the laws that we have passed. And what happens is they're actually able to go through the old laws. And if you have a law that nags you or that you don't like or damages you, you can petition your rep and they can go back and strike the law. Generally, when you strike a law in this day and age, it's only because a lawyer ran into it and they actually moved to strike it through the courts. The legislature is a place that can knock out laws. The executive happened quite a bit. John Calhoun in another instance that wasn't so bad, perhaps colors better, he was talking to, who's on our $20 bill? Jackson, yes. Andrew Jackson was president, and there was a law that specifically harmed South Carolina, and Calhoun took it to Jackson, and he struck it down himself. I mean, I'll even give you guys an even more radical concept on this. There's a wonderful, wonderful article by Sarah Blige Builder in the Yale Law Journal, and she basically makes the argument that any one chamber can knock down a law. So if a law exists, and let's say a state senate, you can get a majority in the Senate to knock it out, her argument is it would be knocked out. So in effect, for a law to be solid ground, you need all three chambers to be able to sustain it at any given time. If it's a good law, you shouldn't have to be able to worry about that. As we said, more law is not liberty. More reps you have, not only will the fewer bills come through. There is this one article, I mean, it's staggering to read it, by a guy who writes for the Wall Street Journal. He says, on any given day, you and I are engaged in 3 felonies. Whether you know it or not, you are engaged in as many as 3 felonies. It is not liberty, from what our founders felt, that at any point in time, a federal agent can swoop down and press charges on you. And that's where we're at today. When you have so many laws and you don't even know you're breaking a law, and that they can bring up, I guess Rand Paul right now is attempting to pass a law that he's trying to bring what's called mens rea back into account, which actually means prove intent. If you are picking up Indian, what are those, Indian arrowheads, and you've just committed a felony at the federal level and you didn't even know it, why, what resources are we now taxing you to put a guy in jail, in prison, who doesn't deserve to be there? And then what are we saying to the citizen that on a random basis you can get whacked for, some federal law that you didn't even know was passed and really shouldn't have been applied to you? I mean, it comes down to how malicious are the agents in the federal government. And, there's that one case that I've been watching. And I guess it finally got reversed, and these people bought this land in Colorado, and they started developing it, and they started using local development rules, and all of a sudden the EPA came in and said, no, it was a watershed or something like that. And they're like, no, it's not. And the EPA just hammered them for years, and it finally went to the Supreme Court and finally got reversed. But I mean, the idea that, again, a federal agency, which are more numerous than the number of reps we have, can come in with one agent and hit you. And what's even worse than that, when I was watching, where we had the debates just recently over the Obamacare, the Obama bill, and they have a federal law on how federal agencies create more federal laws. So it's not even the legislature making laws, it's these agencies that are more numerous than the legislature who not only enforce the law, but are making it on top of that. That's dangerous. That gets into the separation of power and other issues that are very key to our founders, because it's supposed to be the legislature writing them, the executive enforcing them, and the judiciary interpreting them. But we're so far from that at this point in time that, it's almost not feasible. But if you increase the number of reps, we could get that again. So there you go.